Just feel my heart inside. Our love can grow so bright. We found a way into the grace again. Let's not pretend our hearts have life again. you slowly vanish. Time stands so static. I can feel all the pain left us here with misery was not our last wish. Drip, drip, tears from my body. Drip, drip, with them I'm falling. Drip, drip, tears from my body. Oh, why'd you have to slip into the unknown? Slip out of the control. Slip, slip, slip. In silent surroundings, a part of you remains. Those moments can feel so far away. I try to escape the pain. In silent surroundings, a part of you remains. Those moments can feel so far away. I try to escape the pain. In the night, you're alive, floating in and out of my dreams, hoping you hear me. Drip, drip, tears from my body. Drip, drip, with them I'm falling. Drip, drip, tears from my body. Oh, why'd you have to slip into the unknown? Slip out of the control. Slip, slip, slip. In silent surroundings, a part of you remains. Those moments can feel so far away. I try to escape the pain. In silent surroundings, a part of you remains. Those moments can feel so far away. I try to escape the pain. Oh, you know I won't forget all the fire in your step. Hope you know. Oh, you know I won't forget all the fire in your step. Hope you know. Drip, 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 drip. Drip, 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 drip. In silent surroundings, a part of you remains. Those moments can feel so far away. I try to escape the pain. In silent surroundings, a part of you remains. Those moments can feel so far away. I try to escape the pain. In silence, you will be there.
boys and girls, welcome in. It's Lan and your boy Infian. We are back
Yeah.
for our second day of Southeast Asian Pro League after our long wait and our long break and our quick return. So Infian, these matchups we have tonight, it's good. It's a little.
hmm
We've got one extra compared to the last night. So last night we only had one.
One match.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
match. But today we've got Lese versus MBT, and then after that we've got Nex versus Void. So very interesting matchups all night long. Lese versus MBT is going to be pretty peculiar. It's a Malaysian versus Malaysian team, although Lese is 50% Indonesian.
hmm
It has that Malaysian background, and then after that we've got Nex, a very tight team and a very strong team as well, versus Void, a very veteran team. I think from was it Singapore or Indonesia?
Yeah, from
Yes, yeah,
Singapore.
from Singapore.
And before the break, they used to have Ravek, but since then, he has stopped playing Rainbow Six competitively. And you can see where Team Void are. Right now, they are at 3 points. But the first match, of course, is between number, number three and number
Hmm.
five. Let's say 10 points, MBT with 4 points. So two more wins that Lese has, and I would say they are definitely the favorites coming into this matchup. But as we saw yesterday, a lot can change over the break, and we have seen a lot of changes in other regions
Hmm.
as well, in Z in particular.
Yeah, I think the standings are a bit messed up because I think it should be Lese in fourth because if they've got a
Yeah,
-6
correct.
differential. So
Yeah,
next
but
are
those
seeded third, but you're technically in the same scoring. It's just that because they're
correct.
they're on that same score line, the round differential really makes a big difference there. But like I said before, MBT versus Lese first, and then afterwards Void versus Next. Which matchup are you more interested in, or at least excited for?
Well, both should be excellent matchups, of course. As you said, the Malaysian derby in the first one, followed by Void versus Nex. I would think that Void versus Nex, in particular, we're going to end off the night in a very, very spectacular fashion. Void, as you guys may remember, are the ones who denied uh, who sent Aerowolf through to the Season 9 APEC Finals last season on the final play day by playing the best siege of their lives. But right now, we're going to be talking about Team MBT. These guys, you have seen the names time and again: the Asian Friend, Spider Giles, Civil, SMZ, and KGBS. So, what do you think these guys are going to be able to offer tonight?
Well, it's going to be pretty interesting. The last time I checked, apparently Poggers were supposed to play. I don't know if they've updated their main roster or not. But we'll see if that is what's happening tonight later when we get into game. But this roster here, I do know that Civil is overseas. But anyway, looking at our, let's say, esports counterparts, Avixis, Mizu, Daxam, Citronov, and Oxyon. Lonely should be on there somewhere. I'm not sure if he's actually playing tonight. Heck if I know. Um, doesn't seem like it. But let's say have been going through a transformation over the course of the break, and I can only imagine MBT going through a little bit of a transformation themselves. So once we get into the actual game, we'll see the fruits of their labor from both of these teams, both of these organizations, and we'll really, I suppose, see a very close matchup. I'm expecting MBT to put up a decent fight, and I think Lese should be able to bring a little bit of competition as well, obviously.
Indeed, it should be a good matchup all in all. These two teams, yeah, even though they do have a fair bit of a gap, 6 points, it is just one best of two, really. So two map wins, and MBT could join Nex and Lise at 10 points, especially so if Void beats Nex later. But here are bans right now. Coastline and Clubhouse, the default bans, followed by Border, removed by MBT, Bank, banned by Lise, and then Consulate Cafe, the other two bands, leaving us with Villa as the
Oh,
first map for tonight. I'm very excited. I like Villa.
I love Villa. It's a very unique map, and it's very different from a lot of the other maps. But I'm kind of surprised they went to Villa, considering Lese always go to Villa. If you've noticed in our matchups for Lese, they've played it 3 times, I think now. This might be the
Yeah, I
third.
mean,
I think this might be the third.
yeah, clearly Lese likes Villa because they had the last ban between Villa and Cafe, and they chose to ban out Cafe. So you're right. They allowed Villa through, did MBT. So this might be a calculated move for them, or MBT just not comfortable on border and consulate.
To be fair, Consulate and Border are very veteran maps, and yes, the Asian Friend, SMZ, Civil, these are players that have been around for a very long time. Poggers as well, of course, but Border, there's not much other than winning gunfights at this point, because the strats are all standard and vanilla, and it's really coming down to individual player skill and team coordination. If you're not confident there, you won't pull out anything for it. But on our first map here for Villa coming in and looking towards the next map over when we find out what it is, it's going to be pretty interesting, and it's going to be very different to see MBT on this map. I don't think I've seen them play on Villa before, Infian. Have you?
No, not that I recall, and they're going to start off by banning Jackal. So, interesting choice from them. Jackal is obviously an excellent operator on pretty much every single map, and they are on defense first, so this might indicate that they want a freer roaming ability, or maybe it might indicate a lack of second floor roam, but we'll have to see. Let's say Esports are going to respond by banning Nomad, so this is a bit of a play and counter play, so they're suggesting MBT that they want to roam, and let's say on the other hand, these guys are like, well, we're just going to reduce the chances of you guys running out on us. Nomad, a very strong operator, of course, although that means we won't see the Fnatic skin.
Which is really sad, because it's a nice skin for Nomad. But, we might still see Cloud9. We might still see, the SSG skin. Unless they ban.
We're not seeing Cloud9. We're seeing SSG maybe.
We might still see the Cloud9 MPX skin with Warden. He's available now.
True.
He's available.
We'll see what happens. So Mira and Valkyrie, the defensive bans, Valkyrie especially, is a bit of a surprise. Not one that you would have called, but I guess MBT Impetus clearly doing the homework and looking at how Lese plays and deciding that, well, we'd rather play without Valkyrie to deny these guys the Valkyrie.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see Valkyrie not on a map like Border. It's almost synonymous, in fact. The only other maps that I can think of would probably be Cafe, Dostoevsky, to be Valkyrie intensive maps. A lot of hiding spots, pretty hard to catch, but a very standard lineup for these rosters so far, nothing too surprising. I'm just really interested to see how they're going to take this on, because now that MPT are on defense, they are still taking in that very, very, how do I say this, advantageous position. It can be a defender-sided map, but like we saw on screen, we may just see Evil Genius's Ashe.
Let's see whether Dexam is running that. He is substituted in tonight for Lonely.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what happens together with him. He has played a few matches with with Lese. We've seen him around in the first half of the season. Let's hope, for everyone's sake, that both teams have improved their level of play. MBT especially, these guys. 4 points, as I said, is not far, but lose one more map and it gets pretty fine. Some early action, I heard. I don't think anyone connected.
Yeah, I don't. No one's connected with any shots so far, but it does seem like everyone's kind of taking putt shots right now. Sitting behind the new shield, by the way, for our Ember Rise update. They're going to be able to see that someone is crouched behind that defensive shield, and they will be able to sort of bring in a little information. No Evil Genius's skin this time. I'm disappointed. I thought Daksam was a bit of a hype beast, but apparently not. The Asian Friend takes a little bit of damage from a cooked grenade, and maybe the Master Chef this time was not not so good with his preparation. They will be rotating down the red stairs, main staircase, and Oxion was going to try to hold the flank while MBT tried to delay as much time as possible. A couple of mute jammers are in place, and it does seem like he has one in his pocket. I'm not too sure what he's waiting for in hopes of actually saving it. But we'll have to see what their plan is for MBT and his defense, because right now Mizu and the rest of Lese are staying quite toasty as they try to dismantle this defense, take one out, but no, Daxam gets taken out by, SMZ, and the Asian friend dismantles Mizu. Oxion gets the refrag onto SMZ, but he's already dropped half. Lese are not having a great time, and the Malaysian counterparts are sitting so tight and locked in right now. Vixus has to rotate up to his team, and MBT are in a pretty decent advantage in Vietnam.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there, how that all fell apart so quickly for Lese. SMZ was not in a great position, as was the Asian friend, but they won the gunfights.
Oh no, not like
and
this.
That just meant that they were able to get away. The Asian friend, he's going to run away
Okay.
after it seemed that he hadn't been droned out.
Oh man.
So that control finally goes to Lese, but now it's just 50 seconds left in the round, and they still have to execute on the site. KGB, he's going to deal some damage onto Avixis, send out a smoke grenade and push them further back. And Spadajal on the other end, he has performed really well over here in the past on Villa. And, well, oops, that's going to be Civil just cutting through Avixis. Not clearing Astro just yet. Oxion is going to take him down with a headshot, but he gets taken down himself on 1 HP and a dream. Spider-Jowl takes him away. Simranov walks in and he gets picked off. The Asian friend is wide peeking it. Rings true with this SMG-11.
Was not expecting that, Infian.
Yeah.
Lese have been dismantled to some extent because, first of all, I'm not saying that they played badly. I'm saying that MBT played well. They were patient. They were surgical. They picked the right time. Their timing was fantastic. And I'm not sure what's going on with Lese internally right now. But it does look like MBT are just so collected and they're playing their game. That's what you need to do. And they're really capitalizing on the fact that they are on defense. It might be a very different game once they switch over to attack, like we saw yesterday with Luminescent of Clubhouse. But, hey, we'll have to see as it unfolds. 40 seconds into the prep phase for the second round. And maybe, let's say, will have to change up their game just a little bit.
Yeah, right, you are. Now they're going to go over to Aviator Games after winning the first defense over on Statuary Trophy. Both sides are very, very strong. It all depends on personal preference, really. You're very likely going to be going to both, including the first floor one inside either of Library or the other bomb site, which is less seen. But, you know, if you don't win, your defenses on Aviator Games as well as Statuary Trophy, you will be in for a lot of trouble when you switch sides. So MBT getting off on the right foot. Lese, on the other hand, nothing too worrying just yet. Villa is notoriously a very defender-sided map.
It's got a lot of tight corners, and a lot of the operators on defense have weapons and gadgetry that work in those tight corners. Really bring out their strengths and make it hard for long-range attackers to really deal in close-quarter combat. So, using this setup, it's going to really come down to how MBT manipulate this. We do see that SMZ is in a pretty interesting corner. I don't know if they're going to be able to drone that out, or if they're going to make sure that they really check every corner. But normally, whenever I see someone hide in that corner in Fien, they normally get away with it. Daksam is going to be peeking right through, and they might just get away with murder here. And oh my gosh, SMZ might pick up a second kill as he picks up one, and oh my gosh, he gets refragged by Vixus. And there we go. 2 kills actually went down, and Daksam got taken out. I'm not too sure where from, but
exactly
he definitely
the
did.
Same. Exactly the same, except this time it took less time. So they lose 2 members, and SMC is the one who MBT loses. But all in all, it's a trade that MBT is more than happy to carry out. Now, Avixis, he's unfortunately going to miss both the ADS as well as the Bandit battery.
Wow.
So unfortunate from him there only does anger Civil.
Oh, it just irritates him. But it tickles. It's just a little taser. The jammer goes out. The smoke will be prepped. And so will a goo mine as well. Ancient Chinese poison, by the way, all around that corner. And it does seem like Lesion, Nanotech Lesion, by the way, will be hanging around waiting for that right opportunity. This might be the right time to bring in a couple of drones. They do have a lot of the boarded walls up. And while they are wary of a possible flank, they're trying to bring in a possible opening kill so that they can capitalize on the situation. But they only have 40 seconds left, and
Oh, no.
MBT are dismantling Lese. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that flank from Civil has just shredded what was left of that
No
attack.
way.
And the Asian friend joining him over on that side. Oxy, last man alive, stuck on an island. Can't do anything. Look at that. Trades his down teammate out. And excellently played from MBT, winning 2 of 2 defenses so far. If they can go to this first floor bomb site and win it here in dining room and kitchen, that is going to bode very well for them because they can just repeat that once more. Hopefully, for them, MBT will be aiming for at least 4 rounds in defense.
If they can get 4 rounds in defense, which would be a first for MBT. I'm not putting them down, but we haven't seen them pull that off before. If they do, it's huge. Lese do sit at the upper half of this table, and for MBT to actually take them out like this, it only shows that they deserve to still be here in the Pro League, and regardless of whether script left or not, MBT are here to stay. They've been here for as long as they have, a couple of seasons already, right? And
yes, from the start.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Maybe this new roster, not this new roster. This roster coming back in, KGBS actually joining in is new, mind you. He was registered as their coach, but maybe he's moved into the sub player role. We're not sure, but the fact that he's back here now, Civil is also here back from his holiday. They're looking so strong. They're looking like they're really prepped. And while I spoke to Joey, and he said that not Joey, sorry. When I spoke to one of the members, and they said they're prepping, and they're really hoping for the best. It's starting to look like they're shooting way higher than they expected to.
Yeah, indeed. Hopefully, the time that they have been afforded to take the time off and just run through strategies, run through chemistry again and again. Given that starting of season 10, they were coming in with a changed roster, as you mentioned. So hopefully that KGB's experience and time to gel together has made them a stronger team. And so far in the first 2 rounds, we are seeing that happen.
Yeah, it does seem pretty interesting so far. Hopefully everything gets worked out and pushed in. Vix is pushing it all by himself. I'm not too sure if that's how you want to play.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. This is not how the team trained when I was coaching them. No longer. No longer the case. But it's yeah. I don't know what's happening right now, man. It's like if they're all over the place. They're literally all over the map. SMZ is by himself. He's gonna come and try and bring in a flank. Darksam is trying to push up, maybe control the Astro Stairs. And Oxion's already trying to find a vertical angle, but to no avail right now.
Mizu's gonna get to work on the floor over there. Bit of a phantom sledgehammer working its way, opening so much of the floor, and it's good time being made. This time, Lese will be in better spirits. They haven't lost any members on the room clear, even though, as we mentioned, it was fairly dangerous. Sinranov is going to take a lot of damage from the Maestro LMG, but not quite out of it yet. Avixis, though, he's going to get finished off. SMZ takes him out. Spider Gel trying to fight the vertical angle, almost connects actually onto Mizu, who's taken about 25 HP's worth of damage. Not too much to worry him, but as the time ticks down, every bit of HP is going to start counting because of these goo mines.
They do deny a lot of time, and not to mention, they also have the smoke, which denies 45 seconds in entrance. With that 45 seconds, that laundry room is a complete no-go zone. They will not push through that unless they're willing to take a whole bunch of damage, especially with a shield like that in front of you. and an evil eye keeping an eye on you.
So Daxam, he's pushing in slowly. He's very near the bomb site. He's not actually looking towards the doorway where someone might peek out. So the wall's gonna get opened up. Yep, Spider Jal misses the trick. The Asian friend takes him Daxam after he finishes off Civil. So 3v4, Sinranov very low in HP.
Oh,
He's
no
a thermite.
way.
He's gonna go down and pushing in. Oh dear, he just goes for the flank, but it doesn't work out. The cover is there.